have you note that in your mind as to what Jesus was teaching and how Jesus was, and what is it about Jesus that we come to celebrate today? From that, we come to verse 33, and those who are able, please rise for the reading of the gospel. We are descendants of Sarah and Abraham, they replied. Never have we been the slaves of anyone. What do you mean by saying you will be free? Jesus answered them, the truth of the matter is, everyone who lives in sin is a slave of sin. Now, a slave doesn't always remain part of a household. An heir, however, is a member of that house forever. So if the heir, the only begotten, makes you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you're descendants from Sarah and Abraham, but in spite of what you want to kill me because my message has found no room in you. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Please be seated. So there is this the news article, news called HuffPost. And HuffPost wrote an article called What Philippians chapter 4, 6-7 Bible passage can teach us about managing anxiety today. Now, according to the article, people turn to Bible for support with many challenges, and chief among them is anxiety. It also reports that a data released by Amazon on the most highlighted passages in the Kindle ebooks. We all know Kindle ebooks, right? Okay, Kindle ebooks. The most popular passage from the Bible is one on reducing anxiety and finding trust in God, which is a passage from Philippians chapter 4, verse 6-7. Now I'll be reading from the Inclusive Bible version of it, which says, dismiss all anxieties from your minds. Instead, present your needs to God through prayer and petition, giving thanks to all circumstances. Then God's own peace, which is beyond all understanding, will stand guard over your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. Now, my husband did a children's sermon. I felt like he already preached. So I'm not sure what else I can add. So I'm going to try to add a little more to what he has shared. We now enter one of the busiest seasons in the year. Would you agree? I don't know about you, but my anxiety just shoot up as soon as Thanksgiving arrived. People travel all over the places, plans for holiday parties, shopping for gifts, and etc. There are a lot going on right now. And then there are those who deal with the losses. Working in the hospital, I am always painfully reminded that while many of us try to find a way to make the most of celebration with family, there are people in the hospital wondering if their loved one will ever see another Thanksgiving or Christmas. And to realize that some of these people now remember these holidays as a holiday of loss. And they're torn. It's supposed to be a joyous time, but they're torn with the joy and sense of grief. It is also the most loneliest time of the year. We now live in a time where people are taken away from their community and families. It's very rare that we find a town where a person has lived through several generations. I remember coming from New York to be a pastor at Clinton, Connecticut, and was shocked. There were 4 generations in the church. You don't really see that. And one of the things that some of you remind us about this church is that we do indeed have some generational presence here, which is wonderful. But it is something rare. So in times like this, and in addition to that, people no longer work 9 to 5. But those long hours of work, it's hard to create a community for ourselves. So when time like this holiday comes, when we talk about spending with families and friends, there are people who are left behind. So in such a time, we'll also add to this, all this chaos and all this complicated emotion that are rising, a political environment that we're dealing with. Would you not agree that this is the most turmoil time for us as we think about our future? As we look at our leaders, we wonder, where are we going with all this? In such a time, we seem to respond to our anxiety and heavy emotion in two extreme ways. One will be the perpetual optimism. We can get through this. No matter what, we survive again. Then we're perpetual pessimists who say, oh, well, why bother? It's done. There's a song that my daughter introduced to me, Don't Judge Me. Kids find things at school, they bring it home. That seemed to depict this such dichotomy in the world. The song has a very upbeat music to it. So you turn it on and everybody's like moving and dancing until you start listening to the words. And the song is called Life is Fun. Nice catchy title, don't you think? But this is what happens in the song. There are two voices. There's optimist and pessimist. And I'm going to try to voice act the optimist but the pessimist. I'm going to work. So this is how it goes. In the beginning of the song, it said, such a beautiful day. I'm not going to sing it, by the way. So I said, such a beautiful day. The sun shining in a beautiful way. Going to take a shower, brush my teeth, and life is ultimately meaningless. Whoa, I got a brand new job. Doing stuff that will help the economy, I'll save money and buy things at the store. Banks can crash, and capitalism stall. And it's all because of my hard work and the 1,000 advantages you luck into a bird. I put a lot of effort in my resume. Good thing you don't have a black names. And the chorus goes on. We are young. Not for long. Life is fun. It only goes downhill from here. I don't have to live life based on negative parts. No matter how bad they are, they're just thoughts. Yeah, that's fair. Wait, really? Yeah, that seems reasonable. Wait. But you were just telling me. Whatever, man. I don't know. Live your life how you want. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I'm just saying. And the chorus continues on saying, we're young, not for long. Life is fun. It just goes downhill from here. One of the things I have learned working at a hospital chaplain is that sometimes words of encouragement is not comforting. Sometimes just the silence of being present with others in their emotional distress can be more comforting than the words. And you know what? That's actually the most difficult part. Have you ever tried to just sit with someone without saying anything for like 5 minutes? Not easy, is it? But sometimes just being there, not saying a word, because no matter what you say, you cannot fix it. In such a moment, just to know that someone's there with you and sitting with you, and that emotion could have so much more power, so much more comfort. As I reread Philippians, it spoke to me differently than it had in the past. The words that encourage us to not be anxious, it's not an instruction to stop the feeling of anxiety. Because I feel like sometimes that's how it comes across to many of us. But it is a way for us to first recognize the anxiousness, to know the fear that brings anxieties in us. For a moment, think about whether you have any anxiety in you. And then ask the question, what do I fear right now? What burdens me? What bothers me? What am I afraid of? In that recognition, now we're able to lift up this fear up to God and invite God's Spirit to come and be part of moving this fear to find the strength and courage and hope. Today we celebrate the Christ the King Sunday. The Christ the King Sunday is actually a recent addition to our Christian tradition. It only dates to 1925. It intends to bring hope as we envision a world under the rule of Christ, the Savior. The Christ, the King we come to recognize is not the King who seeks his own needs. It is a King who can see the injustice, such as the story that I mentioned in the beginning of the Gospel, adulterous woman. We all know adultery doesn't happen to one person, right? Right? Well, it's not possible. So the question always been, where's the man? Why was the woman the only one who brought into that scene and asked to be judged for it? Where's the man? Where's the story? Full story, what actually happened here? Right? And the way Jesus responded to that was not to say, all right, let's deal with this. But instead he said, wait a minute, let's deal fair. He laid the question, if any one of you don't have sin, you be the first one to judge. And then he brought the grace to the woman. And he said, look, there's no one here to judge you. I don't judge you either. Just go and live a new life. That's the kind of King we come to celebrate. And for me, this is very important because I feel like there are too many people out there in the name of Jesus represent Jesus in a different light than who he is. The reason why I came to love him so much. Someone who is there for the needy. Someone who is there for the oppressed. So that all the oppression is taken away. So that their needs are filled. So that they can see the blessing of God. You know, one thing that we keep forgetting is that when you're in a dire, strained place where you don't know what your next day is going to be like, loving, caring, life-giving, who wants us to be whole and healed. But in order for this to happen, sometimes we have to be able to sit in our discomfort. Sometimes we have to take the moment to recognize what is hindering us, to name it, to address it. It was not my intentional, but as I prepared this message, I realized this message is also for me. Because I come today, recognize that I see something unease in my heart. Because I was just told that Nelson was not granted his freedom. It is so unfair. I think all of us kind of sense that and feel it. So the next question is, what do we do with those feelings? Do we just give up? Do we just say everything's going to be okay? I invite us today to say, let's be real, it stinks that it happened. But we're not going to stop here. Because we're going to now pray that God's justice will reveal in this time. That we were not going to give up and show those people, just because they think they have a power, they cannot do what is not right. That we the people will not give up. For we do not stand alone, but we stand with Christ the King, who stands for justice, who stands for the oppressed, who stands for the needy. But in order for that power to come together, we ourselves have to be prepared and recognize our own fears and give them to God
So that God may replace those fears with courage, hope, strength, and wisdom. And for me, this is why we come to celebrate that the Christ is